Okay, so I just sprayed it, and what that means is that now the darks have gotten a little darker, and I can come back and try to bring up the lights. I'm going to start, because maybe this is my last time over, I'm going to start in the far distance and work my way down to the closer. I don't want to start that sky too dark, but oh, look at that. And I'm using my sky to do a little bit of drawing too. And I do love that thing about the spray, that when I put this color now on top, it just kind of hits the high points. So it leaves some of that dark color showing through, and it gives my painting more depth. And there is depth, you know, in the sky. Back before there were ticks, the great thing of all time was to lie down in the field and look up at the sky and just, you know, get that glimpse of infinity. But man, there's no way I would do that now, being sort of a tick phobe. All right, and I don't really like that yellow. I'm just always trying to figure out, can I do this in a way that implies a lot of detail without actually doing a lot of detail? And so that's just something I'm always kind of working toward. And whatever I have to do, if I have to come in from the outside. Yeah, I'm not doing too well there. I am using the white. It's going to push it a little harder. I'm just having my usual easel problems. All right, well that seems like the whitest thing up there in the sky. I don't know if I'll keep it over there in the corner or not, but for now. And spraying allows you to do that little wispy thing too. And I am pressing down quite a bit harder with this white now than I was. I honestly thought I wasn't going to use any more white, but then suddenly I was. And anything that's just too solidly one color like that probably needs, you know, some work too. And now I have out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I think I've used about 20, under 30 colors, but right around 30 colors. So I'm mostly not looking for new colors now. I'm mostly using the 30 that I initially picked out. That doesn't mean I wouldn't. It's just I'm kind of observing what I'm doing. And so that's all looking a little better, I think. That purple was really good. And then this is too bright in here. And I'm trying to show light, half light, shadow, and then the really dark edge, and then the light starts again underneath. there's not just a whole lot to talk about right now because I'm just trying to make it better. Oh, you know, and I forgot again. Haha, that's so funny. That really what I should have been doing is working from the bottom up, because this is the farthest away point. But I tell you that. I mean, unless I've been doing something for like 20 years, it's kind of a new idea to me. And you'd think I would have gotten this by now, but evidently I haven't. But I don't really want any super hard edges in my sky anyway. I mean, there are a few, but a lot of them are kind of softer edges. And I did mean to have some sky holes in here. And so like right now, that is definitely on top of the clouds. So that's why it's in this last time over, it's important to do last what's on top. And it's quite a difference you can make with how much pressure you use on your colors. And so the same color used at a different pressure will really look different as you're covering up layers. Yeah, there's been some really great cloud painters. Eric Sloan, is he the guy? I'll have to look up and see who those cloud painters were. And then some places are just known for their clouds, like New Mexico. Out in the west, the clouds are just so, and they're just, everywhere you go, the clouds are so different. So that's why it's great to go on painting trips and paint in different places. And that really helps you to not paint a formula. Probably I've talked about him before, but I had a teacher at the Art Students League, and he had a show once, and he'd been to all these different places. He'd been to Scotland and just really different places, but all the colors were exactly the same. They just could have, in Italy, I mean, the light in Italy and the light in Scotland are just really not the same. So he just was painting what he knew. He wasn't really painting what he saw. And I don't know, it seems like that makes it the only purpose to go different places like that is because you think you can sell somebody a painting of Italy and someone else a painting of Scotland. And a good example of it is when I first went to Italy, I used up the whole set. I used up the colors I never used in Vermont. It was like I had the set of 225 pastels, Rembrandts. That's mostly all I had in those days. And suddenly I was using the grays and the umbers and the yellow ochres, things I just never used in Vermont. It was a whole different palette, which made it, just an incredible painting experience for me. And to be somewhere long enough over so many years that, I could really, I don't know, study it, figure it out. I developed my thing. I'm just trying to add a little more form, a little more detail. Kind of went down too far right there. And maybe it would have helped me to draw this more. I don't know. I thought about it, but I decided not to. So, for one thing, when you're painting clouds in the real world, there's just really not time to draw them particularly. It all goes by so fast. And drawing can make things look really stilted, and I just wanted to be sure they looked relaxed, I guess. I was going to put a little more green back in here. All right, now I'm going to work on the land. I do not know what color those mountains are. I think I said pink before. I'm just going to go back to that. Oh, golly. Okay, well. And don't you think it's funny the way I always go right to left like this? Because then I can't see what I'm doing until I move my hand. You know, ideally, you would probably pull your colors back like this. But I do the same thing when I'm painting. I push my brush all the time, and I'm just not going to worry about it anymore, I guess, because evidently if I haven't changed this bad habit by now, I'm not going to. So I would like to get rid of those charcoal outlines. That's the only downside of redrawing in charcoal. Okay, that's better. Yay, better. Better or worse? That's always the question you're asking yourself, just like if you're at the eye doctor. Better or worse? Better or worse? And I think I've got to make these a little lighter too. Trees just don't stand out enough in front of them. I can't decide what to use. I'm just going to try this. Just carrying on with the don't think about it too much. Golly, that kind of worked. I just thought maybe it needed a little green in it. And I did that really lightly. Just a little more value contrast in this row. Jolly. Bad control right there. Maybe I got to come back with a little more purple too. The thing is, if you're outside, well, even this, wherever you look, wherever you focus your eyes is going to be the area that has the most detail and the most contrast. So you have to kind of trick yourself. You have to paint the distance while you focus on the foreground. And that's why I do jump around quite a bit in landscape. I try not to linger too long in one area, because when I do that, my whole painting can get out of relationship. And the key thing is the relationship between the colors. I guess that's really what I'm painting, is trying to get those relationships. And also trying to get my pastel to be in the exact place I mean it for it to be. All right, maybe I'm going to have to use the... God, that just looks so bad. It's so hard to control over on this side of the paper. Thank God I've got that excuse to fall back on. All right, I'm just going to make these guys look darker. Forget this. They're just darker over there, and they're not going to have too much light on them. All right, and then I've got my little field back there, which... right now that really jumps out, but I'm going to wait and see what I can do in the foreground to make that stay back. Oh, kind of like that. Honestly, didn't know that's what that was going to be, but all right, and then the whole pastel just fell out of the, I must have this color over here. No, I don't. Okay, just try this a little brighter on the cornfield. And then, okay, put you back where you belong. And darker side plane. All right, I got carried away there. Come back to this color. So you don't see as much texture in the distance. You know, that's a great thing about painting a cornfield that's far away. You don't have to paint all those individual corn stalks, which is something I've never been successful at. So cornfields in the distance, yay. Look, after I said I was only using the colors I'd sort of already picked out, I've used 3 colors that I did not use originally. Yeah, I was going to use this color in the field, but I changed my mind. Also not a color I've used before. So I might be up to close to 40 colors now. Also, I think it's quite remarkable how much detail people's eyes will fill into the painting for you. So what I'm trying to always leave room for the viewer. That I feel like they can probably make it look more like it looks than I can. So I'm just trying not to get in their way. And that is easier to do when you're not doing things like houses and stuff. If you're going to do drawings that require perspective, and you probably should know something about it. Okay, that's too dark. Flat the bottom is. Really kind of sunk in there. Maybe they've been there a few days, I don't know. But they're not round on the bottom for sure. So up close, you're going to have more texture. You're going to have more color variation. Did I say texture? Harder edges. Texture, harder edges. All right, let's just see what we can do. Oh yeah, these are wrapped in that. That's why they're so shiny. They're not really just hay. They're wrapped in some sort of transparent plasticky stuff. See, bad. Popping forward. All right, let's see if we can get that under control. That looks like crap. Just saying. That looks bad right there too. Oh, God, that's better. Knock that down a little and then put the grass on top. I think I'm almost done. Yeah, I didn't use any gray. I got out a bunch of grays, but I didn't use any. God, that's a message from the universe. Don't use gray. Look how green that gray is. God, we are definitely up to 40 colors now. Boy, I wish I hadn't come back to this. I just want to tidy those up a little more, and then I think I'm going to just call it quits. So when you decide to stop, you know, there are different stopping places, and what you want to do is you want to stop at a stopping place, not in between stopping places, which, like, that's really hard to explain. I did just want to make a little bit, this one just have a little bit more. Oh, look at that, would you? I didn't know that color was going to be lighter. I was looking for a darker. I've kind of gotten to where I just don't like any tiny little lines on my paintings. I want all my lines to be a little bolder, so even if I'm trying to do little grassy things, I just don't want them to be teeny tiny little. That looks like crap maybe, but that might just be a little too much right there. Just a little bit to carry the illusion. Looks like the ocean or something back there, so I think that's got to be greener. Okay. Now the other thing is those shapes are too much the same, so I'm going to bring these trees over. Oh, maybe there actually is a tree right in there, so. Good, make that shape a little different from the other shape. Ugh. It's getting too fussy, and too fussy for how little it is. Too fussy for me to be able to fuss with it anymore. Okay. All right, I'm going to call it quits. So I thought my painting was done, but then I looked at the photograph of it a little bit and I realized that I actually had some mistakes in the clouds. The big one is that this cloud is on top of this cloud, so I want to just fix that. And the other thing I was worried about was maybe I didn't really have these going to a vanishing point, these places where there's little piles of hay in the field. So I just want to try to fix those two things. And I'm hoping it's not too hard. I still have all the pastels out that I used. And I did count. I found that I used 40 pastels for this painting, 40 different colors. And then of course I did spray once, so that means that it's like really, that becomes sort of 80 colors. And I don't want to spray again, so. Okay, so that's really all it takes to put that cloud in front, and I do need to then soften this under here a little more. And I'm using a really light pressure now. Okay, so that now is definitely in front. That's in front. This seems too yellow. So maybe I'll just use a little more of this pink in it. Try to soften this a little bit too. So we've been talking a lot lately about what does it mean to overwork your painting. And yeah, it's kind of confusing to figure it out, honestly. But I guess I think that as long as I feel there's something I should make better, then I'm gonna try to make it better. And if I wreck it, then, well, that's just the way it goes. So, but as long as I feel there's something I can do to make it better, then I'm gonna try to do it. There's a great story that my teacher used to tell about this woman artist named Priscilla Roberts. And she's not all that well known, but she has work in the Metropolitan Museum. You have to go to the stacks in the American wing to see it. But anyway, that she repainted a thing on her painting, and she and her sister lived together. And so her sister said, yeah, she worked on that one part of her painting for like another month, and it wasn't one bit better than it was when she started working on it. And supposedly what Priscilla Roberts said back to her sister was, well, I thought I could make it better. So as long as I think I can make it better, then I try to make it better. All right, so that is really all I wanted to do to that. Well, just one more thing. These, I want to be sure these continue out behind a little bit. Oh, now it's time to stop. Oh, shoot. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's all I'm going to do. Okay, thanks for watching.